Alright guys, welcome. My name is Morgan. I know I'm relatively new to this bookish space. I wanted to kind of introduce myself, go through the newbie tag. Y'all can meet me. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll address them, or I'll make another separate video so y'all can get to know me just a little bit better. First questions is why I started making videos, and really I was kind of on the other side watching videos, and I was more of a consumer instead of a creator. And I just noticed there wasn't a whole lot of creators that read multiple different genres, and I wanted to be somebody for other people and other readers that are like myself, that read across multiple different genres, enjoy different books, and could find somebody like-minded like myself and could come into this space, talk about all different types of books. Because what I was seeing on the other side of the screen, a lot of romantasy, a lot of really popular books. I just wanted to see and offer a new perspective. I am a reader that reads multiple different genres, enjoys a very wide variety of different books. And by reading multiple different genres and branching out, I noticed that I started to build more empathy as well as understanding. Why am I unique? I have a very long TBR. If you've seen any of my shorts on here, I have over 300 books on my physical TBR that I'm trying to go through. I also do a very detailed, in-depth review style. I try and hit on things that I enjoyed as well as things that I did not like about the book. I love to annotate. I love doing in-depth deep dives on books. Something that I am a nerd about and I'm really getting into this year is taking my time, slowing down with my books and being more intentional. I'm also doing quite a few read and watches, watching 3 separate documentaries over the Bronte sisters and just Emily to get a better understanding of her headspace whenever she was writing Wuthering Heights, and just the sisters overall, the historical context of this book, why she wrote the book. I think that it's important with any book to kind of understand why and what the intent and purpose was for the author whenever they were writing the book. Those things kind of make me unique and set me apart from some other creators on this platform. What books actually got me back into reading? So as an adult, like a lot of other people, I didn't start reading during COVID. I didn't start reading as an adult reader until 2023, and that's whenever I got pushed out to like BookTok, BookTube, book recommendations. And that's whenever I picked up ACOTAR and Fourth Wing and Red Rising, those really popular books. Those are the books that got me back into reading as an adult, and that was back in like middle of 2023. I want to say like April or May of 2023. And since then, I've read over 300 books. I usually read over 100 books a year. So last year, I almost read 200 books. I plan on slowing down, reading more intentionally with more purpose. Like I said, slowing down, taking almost a month to 2 months to read one book, research, annotate the book, spending more time with the characters, with the stories so I can better understand it. Whereas like I've always been a reader. My mom is a school teacher, and so I feel like she instilled that very early. One of the first books I can remember like reading in kindergarten, I think, was like Junie B. Jones, Hank the Cowdog, those kind of books. Whenever I was like in middle school and high school, I read like the Divergent series, Twilight, Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, all those kind of dystopian books. And whenever I was in college, like the very early stages of college, I believe 2015 is whenever I picked up my first Robin Hobb book. And I remember going into Barnes & Noble, and this is whenever you actually went in. And I remember asking the salesperson and being like, hey, I'm really interested in like a medieval fantasy like dragon book. And so she handed me Rain Wild Chronicles, which if you know the reading order for Robin Hobb, you don't start there. You start with Assassin's Apprentice and then you work your way. And so I read all of the Rain Wild Chronicles first, and then I didn't realize that there was a reading order. So then I just started picking up random books. I read the entire The Elderlings completely out of order because I had no idea. But after finishing like the Realm of the Elderlings in 2016, I think is whenever I finished it. It was prior to me starting nursing school. Once I started nursing school, and then from me becoming a nurse in school in 2019, became a nurse, worked through COVID. 2023 is whenever I picked up ACOTAR for the first time. My very long reading journey, if you will. Types of books that I personally enjoy. I pretty much read everything, but The one genre that's always on top is fantasy. Specifically medieval fantasy is my favorite. Like I've already mentioned, Robin Hobb, Realm of the Elderlings is one of my favorite. Right now, I'm currently reading Thrones. Loving it. The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne is another one of my favorites. Red Rising. I would consider that more like sci-fi fantasy, but I love that series as well. So if you're looking at like my favorite genres that I always read, it's always fantasy at the top, romance is second. I'm very picky with my romances, but I always read them all the time. I always have a romance in rotation, but I'm also very picky with them. One that I just recently read that I really liked was Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I really, really love Megan Quinn. I think she does banter and humor really well. Other than that, I read typical romance. I prefer like a lot of world building with like a romance subplot over romance with a little bit of fantasy. Layered protagonists, I typically read for characters. I'm a very character-driven reader. I like the psychology. I like sitting with and getting to know my characters. I like my plot to be character-driven. So really like lyrical prose, poetic, atmospheric, bombard me with beautiful writing. I already know a book is going to be good whenever I'm like highlighting. And I'm like, oh man, that was good. That was really good. That was one of my favorite things that I've read in a while. And I'm like writing it down to remember because it was so beautiful and well written. I also love whenever I finish a book and I'm left sitting there staring at a wall and I'm like, what? Books that change you, make you a better reader. Those are my favorites. That's a little bit about me. If you have any other questions, again, leave them down in the comments and I'll either make another video or I'll just be answering questions in the comments down below. Bye guys.